Aman Chowhan, fund manager at Abakkus Asset Manager, is now with us on the show. Aman, overall, what's the read on the earnings season so far? Have you all done the number crunching? Where have the beats versus the misses, and how have you changed your portfolio in accordance to that?
The beats predominantly it was the metal sector that has done well. Some of the consumer names have done well. Cement, as expected, on a low base has done well. So these are some of the sectors that have done well so far in the result season. We have increased our metals exposure in that way. Cement is where it is. We have trimmed some of the IT exposure that we had because the growth rates there is slowing down, and that's been the key changes in the last month or so.
All right. Hi, Aman. Good afternoon. Good to see you in. Aman, I wanted to ask you about the paint sector. It's been the sector not to look at because you had a large, corporate that's coming in there and challenging the incumbents. They're corrected, 15, 25% in the last 18 months or so. Suddenly you're seeing Asian Paints fighting back, Berger Paints as well as fighting back. And now the hope is that maybe the color of the paint changes for the incumbents, because the challenge that's coming from the new player has more or less played out. Your view?
I think for that to happen, the stocks to do well, the volume has to pick up. So once the industry level volume picks up, both the challenger as well as the defender will see volume growth. And that is when I believe the investor interest will come in. Today, it's not just the challenger which is impacting the margin, it is also that the volume growth is pretty subdued. So in spite of a decent, you can say, consumer uptake, the volume growth in the paint industry has been low single digit kind of numbers, right? So we are all hoping for that number to come in. So hopefully, monsoon has been good, though it is pretty elongated as of now. If the current season or the next season volumes pick up, and even if they reach high single digit or say low double digit, that is the time I think the paint sector will get re-rated, both the incumbent as well as the you can say challenger.
Though there's only one Hollywood.
Aman, you mentioned about metals, and you all have normally been the niche players. Sarda entry is something I can see, and you all have done quite well on that one. I don't know whether this is a re-entry, because I recall you all had it earlier as well. Jindal Stainless was something that you liked, and Imfa as well. If you could just tell us what you like from the metals pack.
We like both the ferrous as well as non-ferrous. Within the steel, the preference is on stainless steel versus carbon steel because it's more B2C and you have better margins as well as better pricing power there. We are also like the other metal companies, which is mainly the aluminum companies or the zinc companies or the other metals and mining companies. So as we speak, it's broad-based that we are positive on the metal space.
Hi, good to have you with us today. Aman, just to talk about some of these, chemical names, we were having this discussion just a while back as well. While the likes of SRF, for instance, are still very cautious and they're talking about the disruption that US tariffs have kind of led to the business, there are others like UPL. UPL just reported numbers a while back. They're looking pretty good. They're sounding a little more confident as well. So if you're looking at diversified chemical companies or even specialized chemical products, then are you looking at any part of it more favorably? It's also a very large sector. So maybe, narrow down maybe agrochemical versus, say, APIs. Just tell us how you're thinking about it right now.
So clearly, agrochemicals is doing well globally because it is coming off a low base, and that is what is benefiting UPL. In India, because of the monsoon being erratic, though it has been good, but it has been erratic, and hence there's a lot of sales return that has come in the industry. That's what we see. But overall demand is good. So the agrochemical sector per se is doing well. Some quarters plus or minus, depending on how the rains have been. Besides that, anybody exporting to US is facing the tariff issue. I believe investors are all waiting for the final tariff number to come in. Nobody is expecting this 50% tariff to stay for long. Hopefully this month we get a final number, and this number is anywhere between 15-20%. I believe all the other chemical companies that are currently facing headwinds in US will also come to be in the limelight, because this sector per se is now started to do well. So Indians are gaining market share versus the Chinese. The pricing issue which the sector faced last year is now behind us. So selectively, you can definitely look at this sector. Even if they are exporting to US, I don't think that should be a worry. Yeah, just that people will wait for a month or so for the final tariff number to come in.
Aman,
difficult to give you a broad, in the sense, which chemical sector, because all stock specific. There are some companies that have made M&A, there are some companies where new molecules are coming in, and there are some chemical companies which, from a very high base, will still not be able to grow this year.
Aman, big IPOs. Did you all participate in Lenskart at an anchor level, or how do you feel about the valuations of Lenskart? There's Grow, which has been fully subscribed already, and Physicswala opens next week. All big consumer tech companies.
As always, pretty selective on the IPOs. Out of the three names that you mentioned, we have invested only one of them. So the focus is always that if the company is decently profitable and at a value which makes sense to us, then we'll definitely look at these names. So these are new age companies. We understand they will not be trading at 10, 15 P or 20 P kind of thing, but the premium has to be reasonable. So of the names that you mentioned, one of them we have invested.
Grow, right? From your FlexiCap fund. And Lenskart, you gave it a pass.
Yeah.
Okay, got that. Thank you very much for joining in. Moving on now to what's happening in the futures and options space. Nigel is at the desk.
Well, that's right.